guys, Masteries Legends. Welcome to the video. Sending some love, some positive vibes your way, especially if you need it out there today. So I am woefully late. I am tardy with this guide today on Iudex Artor. But it's kind of nice, too, to let things settle a little bit, to marinate on these new champions. This was, of course, the free community month or whatever it was, community weeks, I guess they call it, champion that we got. And a lot of differing opinions on this dude. I shared my opinion already in my top 5 builds in a video that I will link for you guys in the description below. We'll be highlighting 2 of those builds, my real top 2 overall utility builds for him in today's video, and actually try him out in several areas in the game and kind of give a full, robust assessment of this champion now that some time has passed. So, Iudex Artor, what does he do? Quick reminder, he's a Sacred Order champion. He's Spirit Affinity. He's, I think the aesthetics are pretty cool on this dude. I think it looks pretty cool, right? Not my favorite, but certainly not the worst champion in the game. I like a little bit more color on him, though, right? I like colorful champions or something very, I don't know. Now that I look at his face, it's like, it's not bad, right? Emanating this blue kind of mist or essence or something coming out of his eyeballs. Pretty cool. Anyway, sport champion. He is Spirit Affinity. He has the speed and arena battles aura by 25%, which is, I always thought was a little bit weird to have on this champion per se. That being said, he does have a turn meter boost in his kit. So let's talk about his kit. His A1 is Sensor Whirl. It's an AoE with a heal, 5% of his max HP. So scaling his HP, never a bad thing. We can get a decent little heal just off of his A1. And again, it's not predicated on his damage or anything like that. It's just his max HP. So, you know, with 20k base HP, even if you're not like absolutely going all out on HP, it's going to be a significant heal that will add up over time. In sense of inspiration, his A2 can be booked down to a 3-turn cooldown, increase attack, strengthen, and turn meter fill by 15%. So this can be like a mini Arbiter for folks out there who don't have Arbiter yet. I'm actually going to put a community tab poll, maybe on my main channel, Ash Raid Shadow Legends, in case you missed it. And I'll maybe see how many people have Arbiter. I've been doing that. Let's take a quick look here, a little interlude, if you will. I've been asking players who they have in the game, you know, like who they've unlocked, because it really helps me in terms of curating the content here on the channel. So, for example, Ginro the Stork, who's the last Doom Tower hard champion, only 12% of my audience have this dude unlocked. I was actually surprised by that one. I thought it would be a little bit more the final Doom Tower Secret Room hard champion. Also, Carnage. Only 12% of my audience had Carnage. Again, I was actually kind of surprised. I thought it would be like 25%, like a quarter of my audience, but it's half of that. So I'm going to keep doing those polls, and because I find them really interesting, and it helps me, again, cater my content, because I'm going to stop using so much Carnage, and, you know, like, not that I use a lot of Ginro. I'm going to stop using those champions so much here on this channel alongside some of these freebies if nobody has them, you know? Anyway, big digression. Increase attack, strengthen, and a turn meter fill by 15%. It's a nice move before you get Arbiter, or it's a nice go second move in the arena, even if you have another turn meter booster who can build faster. What's going against him, what's going for him is 15% turn meter is not that bad on a 3-turn cooldown. He can also set up attack-based nukers, and he has the speed arena battle aura as well. So he has some things going for him, and then against him is his base speed being slow in only 15% instead of a 30 or 20 or 25. Revival Mandate is his revive on a 4-turn cooldown. Revive a target ally, 50% HP, 50% turn meter with the increased attack for 1 turn, then activates the default, the ally's default skill, targeting the enemy with the lowest HP. Nice little addendum to the ability here. Otherwise, it would be like a fairly mediocre revive. But I like that we attack the ally or the enemy with the lowest HP. It's a pretty cool move to have on that revive. Sentence to life, excuse me, is passive. If you kill that enemy on the revival, it resets the cooldown of the A3, the revival ability. So there it is, guys. That's his kit. Overall, not an awful kit, right? I think that hellhades.com ranks him, I want to say, a 4 out of 5, which I think is a little bit high. What do you guys think? Odds are, by the time you're watching this video, you already have a good assessment of this champion. So yes, they do rank him a 4 overall out of 5. I'd probably put him around a 3 or maybe a 3.5. but I guess it depends on what you need, right? With that AoE on the A1, even though it's a weak damage breakdown, I found that his damage can actually like add up pretty significantly over time. Not to say that he's going to be your main DPS, but I found it like okay, right? It is attack based and you're scaling up his HP. Anyway, Instance of Inspiration, again, no damage there or anything to speak of. So we can go down to his area rankings. They recommend Cruelty. I do as well. I think that Cruelty is the best blessing on this champion for an overall choice because he has the AoE on his A1, right? So a lot of potential to decrease enemy defense. It's a misnomer that some players think that Cruelty goes with nukers. No, Cruelty goes with anybody with some AoE potential, and having an AoE on the A1 is the definition of that, right? So they recommend stat priorities: resistance, speed, HP, defense for PvE. For PvP, resistance, speed, HP, defense. It's not like resistance is bad on him, but I wouldn't prioritize it as like my first stat. I think using him without super high resistance is just fine. That being said, a support champion who heals and revives, you don't want them to be CC'd, so having resistance is never a bad thing on this champion. Okay, we'll talk about Masteries in a moment here when I show you my build. Actually, let's just show you the build, right? Area rankings, did I miss that? I did, my bad. So they give him, let's see, Old School Demon Lord, 4 out of 5, Hydra, 4 out of 5. I guess Hydra with the Cruelty, with that constant turn meter fill, with the survivability of the strength and the increased attack, you could do a lot worse, right? And the heals on that A1. So I agree with the 4 out of 5 in Hydra. I wouldn't give him a 4 out of 5 in Demon Lord, but you know, are we gonna complain about it? Wave content. Well, that's weird. A half star. I wonder if this is a new website feature, by the way. They didn't have waves that I recall. But in terms of like dungeon wave content, I strongly disagree. I think that especially with the stun set, especially with the revive and everything else, turn meter boost, I would give him quite the opposite, probably a 4.5 out of 5, right? Chimera, he's not my favorite. Aim is not my favorite at all. Let's see. Chimera Trials, 2. I love how they added that here. That's really cool. And then Dungeons. He's a progression dungeon champion, right? He can get by. You can get by with him, you know, all the way till the end of Ice Golem Hard if you don't have a better option. The thing is if you've been playing for a long time, you probably have a better option at some point. Doom Tower, he's a good support champion. Arena, they give him a 4 out of 5. Despite the aura and the fact that he's not like an absolute trash arena champ, we'll play him in the arena extensively in this video. I'm going to disagree. I'm going to give him like a 3 on a good day in the arena. For early game progression, again, you can have some fun with this champion. He can have some utility with that aura. He's not going to be the worst champion in the world, but maybe like a 2 or a 3, I would say, personally. Anyway, Iudex Artor, here he is. I'm going to use him in 2 builds today. This is my favorite overall build. It's Reflex and Impulse. I love him in Reflex. You don't need Impulse, but it's nice to have, right? Reflex, though, it's great. I mean, he only has one active ability that's not a revive, and revive is conditional. Someone needs to be dead to use it, right? So you're going to constantly be bringing the cooldown of this A2 vis-a-vis the reflex down to 2 turns. Thus, we're going to be able to keep the uptime on these buffs, strengthen and increase attack, you know, ideally up on all of our allies all the time, or close to, because of that reflex proc. Now, a little bit of RNG, it's not always going to be, you know, consistent, but that helps a lot. And the turn meter fill, happening every other turn or every 2 turns to your allies versus every 3 turns, is a big difference. I always consider, you guys should stop and consider reflex sets on champions that only have one active ability in a revive, or just one active ability in passives like a Bad Alcazar or a Valkyrie or somebody like that, right? So don't sleep on Reflex. It's a really, really, really good an underrated artifact set. It's one of my favorites that's still farmable from the dungeons in this game, where a lot of the gear, as you graduate to the end game of Raid, really becomes quite obsolete in a lot of the cases. Reflex is definitely the exception to that rule, as well as a few others: stun, speed, savage, etc., regeneration. Okay, so we talked about the blessing. We talked a little bit about the build. But again, I shared my top 5 builds in another video that I'll link for you guys. But yeah, I put Rebirth on him. A 1-piece, why not? Get some resistance in there. 2-piece, even better though. What am I doing over here? Why do I have protection? You know what? Let's see what I have here first. I want the 2-piece Rebirth is what I want. But again, Rebirth, I want to say, like, out the gate here, it's a nice to have, sure. But it's not mandatory, okay? I only have one accessory for him. But I will say, I'll just tease you on some of the other builds that you could consider with him. This is build 1, and this is, oops, it's all rebirth, right? 6-piece rebirth is very strong on this champion. But it's hard to get this gear. It's live arena only sets, right? But granting a 10% HP and 10% turn meter to allies revived by the wearer will bump him up to 60-60 on his revive, HP and turn meter respectively. And then he'll get a decent amount of speed, a decent amount of resistance, and place block damage buff on the wearer for 1 turn when an ally is killed. That happens once per round. Really strong for a champion like a Iudex Artor to have a 6-piece rebirth. I would certainly not go down to 9. Not that anybody really can pull off 9 pieces, or at least good 9 pieces of rebirth right now, but I want to at least call that out for consideration. Also, lastly, seeing as he has 2 buffs on a 3-turn cooldown, and he's always getting back to it because, again, it's only as a revive, you could rock him in a 9-piece protection set for extra damage in longer battles such as Hydra Clan Boss, okay? So I would go Reflex Impulse or just Reflex, or potentially 9-piece protection for your Hydra teams where, again, he shines like really well, right? He does very, very well because we're always looking for a reviver and we always want a healer. And he carries 2 pretty essential buffs too, right? So he brings a lot to the table in Hydra, especially with the Cruelty. And I said I had Cruelty. What am I doing with Crushing Rend? I accidentally chose the wrong one. My bad. Cruelty. There we go. Not Crushing Rend. Cruelty. All right. Masteries. So we have him in a very, very, very generic PvE build right now, which is totally fine for Iudex Artor. We come down the left-hand side. We end with War Master. Nothing wrong with going Life Drinker as well, kind of picking and choosing and matching the play style that you want to go ahead and adopt when playing this champion. So take the time and read the Masteries and make sure they're the right ones for you, especially on a champion like this. The other build, the other big option in terms of tier 6 would be totally screwing over the offense tree. I don't want it. I don't want the little extra damage that comes from War Master, although it can add up. That's how we would min-max our damage in our teams. But if you're in progression mode and you just want survivability, like a true survivability support reviver, then of course we want to go down and pick up Timely Intervention instead of War Master. Timely Intervention increases champions' turn meter by 20% whenever an ally hero drops below 25% HP, gets him bumped up in turn order and ready to revive somebody who probably is about to need it, or to heal with his A1. If I did go down, by the way, with Timely Intervention on this champion, I would screw over the offense tree. I would come defense instead. I would go Tough Skin. I would go Blast Proof. I would go with Resurgent. I would go with Delay Death. I would go Retribution, and I would go Cycle of Revenge and get rid of, okay, screw that. I would probably go Retribution and Cycle of Revenge. I would definitely want Cycle of Revenge. I think it goes so nicely with Timely Intervention, more turn meter. Same thing with Rapid Response, right? I love Lasting Gifts, extending the duration of those 2 debuffs on his A2, so I would not forego Lasting Gifts under any circumstances. So maybe I would punt Spirit Haste, which is also very good on him, for that AoE on Retribution with the heal, right? So that's the way that I would go to make him an all-out Uber support reviver, Iudex Artor extraordinaire. All right, Journal of Necrodos. Wears heals and turn meter effects applied to allies are boosted by 15%, and we can scale that up additionally by what, another 15%? Not bad, right? Really solid to get those extra stats, and he does them both, right? He heals and he increases turn meter, so the Journal of Necrodos is perfect for this champion. Okay, let's go ahead and talk about stats. I have HP, almost 100k. I have speed as fast as possible. You don't want to totally neglect defense, only because the heal is based on just the HP. Getting a little bit of defense on him is going to be great, especially if you're in progressions for dungeons, right? Keep in mind, those dungeon bosses, you know, defense does come in handy, especially the Ice Golem, right? We don't need accuracy in his kit, which is nice. We can go resistance. I don't have a big resistance profile here. And we can go with a little bit of crit rate and crit damage. But again, his damage is fairly negligible. Most of it in this video is going to be coming from the War Master Mastery, not necessarily his damage. So that being said, we have HP on the gauntlets. We have HP percentage on the chest. Not ideal with the accuracy, but whatever. We have speed on the boots, and again, just looking for some defense, HP, survivability, maybe a little bit of resistance, and speed, most importantly, on the substats on the rest of our pieces. If I didn't have, by the way, an impulse set on him with reflex, I would be trying to rock maybe a 3-piece protection to get that speed, or just rock a typical immortal set that you get from farming your regular clan boss for HP and a little bit of healage to himself as well, because he can't die either. In the arena, if you want to flirt with the idea of putting him in stone skin, nothing wrong with that at all either. With that HP, if you wanted to go all out kind of tanky arena progression, you know, shield champion, you could throw him in a bolster or a shield set and scale that HP up even higher. So there's a bunch of ideas, and honestly, he's a fairly easy champion to build, right? Because we just really care about speed and survivability for the most part, right? So it gives you a lot of, you know, customization opportunity depending on how you want to use him. Let's go ahead and see him in action really quickly here in Curse City. S23, yeah, I ran him in this team. We have Grush the Mangler. We have Morag. We have Fabian, who I just pulled a 6-star soul for. Pretty cool. Still don't use him, though. I mean, I should use him more, but whatever. Embarrassment of riches and lack of good gear to put on all the champions I want to use all the time, right? In terms of live arena. Anyway, Kafru is going to be our nuker here. This is an interesting little secret room, right? It's a Void Spirit, defense, and support. Right? So kind of a lack of options. So I picked what I thought would be the best damage dealers along with the man, the myth, the legend. So let's see him in action here. I'm not sure. He's not the fastest one on the team. Fabian is. Fabian is so strong. I mean, with all the control that he brings to the table, it's sick. It's sick is what it is. All right, so we're going to go in here with he's right. Iudex obviously is on the right-hand side. If he takes a turn, that would be fantastic. That would be fantastic. Going against a Tormund here, as you guys can see. So he goes right in with the A1. And look at all the decreased defense that we got there, right? That's just the cruelty blessing. And as I said earlier, it's so good for him. I mean, it really adds a whole dimension to he and any other champion that you put cruelty's kit, especially in longer battles over time. Man, this Tormund is super annoying, but we did sheep him, which is nice, right? All right. So we're going to go in. Faction Wars, by the way, hard mode. Iudex Artor, I'm sure he can help a lot of players out, right? Or Faction Wars progression, even if you're not on hard mode yet. Just having that reviver, obviously you guys already know this, but if you go into Faction Wars 2.0 or any Faction War, if you meet the conditions and a few of your champions die, as long as you revive them, you'll still get that 3-star. So having a reviver built in every faction, not that Sacred Order was really lacking them, unfortunately, right? They picked the wrong faction for this champion in a lot of ways, but that doesn't mean we can't still take advantage of that, right? So you can see he's going in with a lot of AoEs on his A1 with the War Master. The damage, like I said, it will kind of add up here. But I must admit, this is quite boring. So let me come back to you guys on the third wave. We'll try him out maybe in a dungeon progression situation and then try him out with a blender comp inside the arena. I'll be right back. All right, guys, this is wave 3 here. Team's doing pretty well, I got to say, with all that control, thanks to mainly Fabian. I'm not going to lie here. But there we go. The nice, the turn meter boost on the A2 that we just saw. He didn't have to revive anybody on this particular content, but he's almost certainly going to have to revive on the next stage. I want to see his A1 right here. You can see 5,830 heal per A1. That's really good, and obviously it applies to ally attack situations, counterattack situations, such as Retribution, as we mentioned in terms of Masteries as well earlier. That's pretty significant, right? His heals are going to be pretty decent on this champion. It goes in again, and 5,800 obviously is quite a bit more than 5% of his total HP, which was just shy of 100k. But that's with all those healing masteries that we picked up as well on this champion, plus the Journal of Necrotos. All of that at work gives us an additional, 1,000 or so, or 20% of the whole heal, right? Which is not bad. Okay, so Fabian puts out 383, excuse me, damage. Artor about half of that, but again, a lot of heals there, and then Grush just coming in with double the heals and a lot of damage. Morag and Kafru being our main DPS on this squad. I kind of like this team because I like all these champions, right? I really like Kafru, even though he's not amazing. I think he's a really fun little epic champion. Anyway, I digress. Let's go ahead and go to the dungeons. Ice Golem's Peak. I don't know. Let's go stage 1 of hard, right? I put this team together. Let's see how they do. We have no aura that's usable here. I am a big fan of Gerda Bogbrew. That's right. I said it. I'm the one. I'm the one and only. So I'm going to play her. Selenia Nightcloak is going to be, I think she's the best rare HP burner in the game, honestly. So we're going to have her on the team for HP burn, Bellower for some stun. And what I want to do here is I want to switch his build, right? I want to go to the other, like, obvious set for this champion. I want to throw him inside a stun set, right? Because why not? Why not get some stuns? All right, here we go, here we go, here we go. So Dark Elhain goes in, or Selenia goes in there, excuse me, first. Dark Elhain lands the decreased speed. Bellower dealing all those debuffs. We got all the poisons from Gerda Bogbrew as well. Solid squad. Bellower is still solid after all these years, specifically because of that one Nature's Bounty blessing as part of the nature category, right? That upgrades the weak version of the debuffs to the big version of the debuffs. All right, I'll come back to you guys when we get to the Ice Golem. Let's see how this team fares. All right, guys, here we go, here we go, here we go. I'm a little worried about this team. I don't know. Are we going to do too well? Look at Bellower. He landed the big version of decreased defense and the big version of decreased attack on the Ice Golem. You gotta love it. The only bad thing about the blessing is you need it at, you don't need it, but 6 stars is only 60% chance at converting or up converting those debuffs, right? So ideally, we'd like it a little bit higher. All right, so we have a death. Selenia goes down, and immediately she gets picked back up. She goes in with the attack. All right. Did she attack the Ice Golem? I guess it's a percentage of their HP, I imagine. Because when he revived her, it's supposed to be the enemy with the lowest HP, but I guess she went right after the Ice Golem himself. Obviously, his max HP is quite a bit higher, so there's a big AoE attack, ignore 50% defense. So we did lose Bellower, pick him right back up. He goes in with what looked like a double attack, ostensibly, even though it's not. We go in there, and again, things look pretty good right now. We lose Selenia. That's okay. He's not that far away. He might already have his next revive up on his next move because of the... Oh, he doesn't have the reflex anymore. I'm like, where's those? Oh, where's all the reflex? We're getting so unlucky here. No, we're not. We took him out. We put him in the stun set, Ash. Okay, big hit comes in. He barely survives. He's the last man standing. Well, with Gerda, here reduction, though, is going to kill him. No, can he get in there? A little tiny heal. He goes back-to-back AoEs on his A1. Oh, my God. He's still holding on. Can Dark Elhain finish the job? Can he finish the job? Gets a little teensy-weensy heal down there. We have a Brimstone on the boss. Thanks to Gerda. Oh, my God. Death's Majesty goes off. I think we might pull it off, guys. There it is. Iudex Artor. Barely. I'm still standing. Woo! All right, that was, I made that a little bit more intense than it had to be, huh? Anyway, overall, did a pretty good job. I wouldn't say that would be a consistent team on a consistent run. We'd probably throw away a lot of energy and losses, but we get the job done there. Hey, Selenia not doing a bad job there for a little rare that could with the burns at the very end, but probably be looking to sub her out of this team. All right, let's go ahead and end with a quick arena battle on this dude. I want to keep... No, Bellower, really? I took off the stun helmet and I put it on Iudex. All right, anyway, let's go in with a little ally attack action, a little blender comp, right? So, I don't know, let's see if we're faster than this team. I have a fun little blender team put together here. I'm going to take advantage of the speed in all battles, and then I'm going to build a Mikage. I actually want to put the other Mikage that I have on the team because I think I have my stinky Mikage a little bit faster than my main Mikage. So let's see what we can do here. Can we outspeed them? We can't. So they win the speed race. Is probably over, but let's just see what happens here. We have Iudex on the team. We have Mikage. We have Freya. Iudex gets sheeped there, unfortunately. And now we're getting bombed. And now we're getting dead. So let's see. Iudex? Nah, she can... She might have only needed one AoE on her A1 on Iudex, but she didn't get it. And we're about to die here. This sheep is about to die, I think. Yeah, he just can't Yeah, I mean, we don't have the, yeah, okay. So with a blender comp, you need to win the speed race, and we didn't win it there. That's the only downside of this, and these is crappy teams here. Let's just see if we can beat out this team in a speed race. Now, blender comps, they're not like made for Iudex Artor, and of course they go first again. But in a stun set, he can be formidable because he can also be your reviver, you know, on your team if things don't go right all the time, so, or the first time rather. So we're gonna go in, ally attack, and not bad in terms of damage, right, that we got on that blender comp. And then we can have Freya come in and cleanse the team. So I like this team a lot for a blender because they have some sustainability to them, right? Even if we don't kill everybody on the very first ally attack, we have a lot of other options with Freya, with Iudex, with even Iudex, right, with the ally protection and everything that she brings with a counterattack on her A3. So let's go ahead and get a shield on everybody from Freya. I still love blenders, you know. I'd be lying if I sat here and said that I use them. I don't. But I still think they're a fun strategy, and it would still be my personal go-to strategy just to clear my Great Hall, right? Just to go fast, generally speaking. There's always stone skin and stuff in this game nowadays, so, like, I don't know. Is anything fast? You could argue no. I go auto, and of course, what do? They go right into ally attack against UDK with stone skin and a bunch of buffs on. But I'm doing this team specifically because I wanted to see if this team was up for the task of facing a super, super tanky team. And it looks like we will be, right? I don't want to speak too soon. They got Sun Wukong, but they don't have a reviver there. Sun Wu hits pretty damn hard, steals everything that we got, which is not great. Okay. And we go Warped Guidance. They need better AI, don't they, guys? I mean, we go with Eric's AoE, Warped, or her A3 when she has block buffs on, right? Anyway, not ideal, but we're staying alive against Sun Wukong, which is easier said than done on that A2 ability, right? Staff of Wonder. Okay. I like having the reviver on this squad. I can't lie to you guys. Now that we finally got Sun Wu down for a little bit here, I'm hoping we can get in and pop off another kill or two. Okay, so he sheeps Freya. We go in with the A2, get a nice turn meter fill. Okay. Everything's going fine here. We don't mind if Freya goes in with the A1. That's some big damage. And then we get the revival off Mikage. So as long as Sun Wukong doesn't kill me on this next shot, and he doesn't, comes close, but he doesn't, this little engine that could team, woo! I'm getting very scared of that Sun Wu. Look at him go, man. Look at him go. Or not go. Man, I shouldn't have won that battle. I don't know what was going on with that dude, Sun Wukong. But anyway, let's go against this squad here. Hopefully we can win the speed race. So a few ways to use this dude in the arena, practically speaking, right? This is a good team to go against, right? Should be a little bit of a quicker kill than the last one, certainly. Just a lot of AoEs all over the place, right? What do I think about this guy in the arena? He's got the aura, which is nice. On a team like this, we wouldn't have a speed aura without him, you know. He's got the turn meter boost again. You can play him. I compared him to Arbiter earlier in the video. You know, like if you have Arbiter, you have a better option already, so he's kind of whatever. But there's certainly nothing wrong with playing 2 speed booster revivers, right? You can build a team with both of them on it. You know, sometimes having that double speed boost is nice to have on teams in the arena. But that being said, there is a certain level of redundancy between the two that's hard to ignore. The turn meter boost, the increased attack, the revive, right? So it gets to be a point where they can be very effective together. But, you know, are they better? Is it a better option? Ooh, let's go against this Teox All Lizard Man team. I gotta do it. I gotta do it here. They're gonna go first with Lazarius with Intimidating Presence in the lead, but let's see if we can let's see if they just smoke me or what happens here. Yeah, they smoke me. All right, so our reviver dies. So that can't happen. Can Freya do any damage? No. All right, guys, last team. Let's see what we can do. Overall, like I said at the beginning of the video, I think this dude is really not a great arena champion. You know, you can have some fun with him. You can certainly use him for progression, as we mentioned a few times now. But I think that you can also, frankly, do a lot better, you know. Let's see. Can we beat this team with Siegfried? You guys let me know, though, what you think of this champion. Can we stun him there? Let me know what you think of this champion, guys. Let's go ahead and get that revive on. Nice. Hey, that worked out for us, right? I guess that revive going in to attack the enemy with the lowest HP part of his kit, I think that that's quite good for the arena. So to be fair, at least he has some redeeming qualities that you might be able to take advantage of. All right, guys, we're going to cap the video there. That's my Iudex Artor guide. Overall, I think about a 3.5 or kind of a C+, B- type champion. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you have use cases that I did not cover in today's video? I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments below. Much love. And as always, take care, guys.